if it's still desynced.
Let's find out.
Yeah, it's still desynced.
Really? That's not good. Okay, I'm not gonna go back around to get that chest again. We'll look at the desync after this play session, I guess, because, like, how bad is it?
Like a solid second, I'd say.
Really?
Really? Let's see here.
No, I'd say it's lower, like 0.5.
Okay, well, I'll restart my PC later and we'll see if that fixes it. Like, I haven't actually tested the recording before doing this, because, like, I just woke up and, like, I was like, whatever, let's do it. Let's see, can I get up here yet? Yes, I can.
You can totally get that heart piece.
I'm pretty sure I got that art piece.
Yeah, I just got it.
Of course you did. But
Hello there. There's a newcomer.
Hello.
And then Mugi doesn't get the
What?
Samus thing at the top
Oh,
there.
I totally missed
The
it.
Sam,
It was...
the
those are
Samus
the-
thing, Zephyr. The Samus thing, Zephyr. Really?
Yeah, the Samus thing. The Varia suit, some whatever it's called. Those are the best.
Yeah, like...
That's the only way to increase a certain thing.
So, like, yeah, one of the problems with DT1 is that, like, a lot of the power-ups are hidden behind the UI. And I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it's pretty silly.
Don't go up there, Mugi. Don't do it. That place is death.
I will say, I find the enemies in the items in DT1 far more dickish than the ones in DT3 as far as placement
Well, a
goes.
lot of them...
That's because I was being
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of them
It's
are...
because I was a dick back
A
then.
lot of them are just, like, placed at the top of the screen somewhere you probably won't see. Brian, yeah, like, if you want to join in, you can feel free to. Like, just tell Waffy your Skype or whatever.
Oh yeah, he can totally join in. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, like he says, Brian actually is, like, the premier player of DT1. Let's see, what is it? You can...
I can back that.
You can scan enemies like you can in DT3, but, like, let's show off how long the scan animation is, why don't we? Yeah, it does that every time, so I try to avoid it if possible.
God, they throw so many bones on distorted
Oh
mode.
yeah, like, DT1 is already, like, projectile spam the game, and now we've got... yeah, this is kind of silly, but, you know, I was in when...
I mean, but Jerry is a god, so...
I made the decision to play Undistorted. It's my fault if I cannot exploit Jerry to his full potential.
I mean, you have rave mode ready, so anytime you want, this area will disintegrate.
I'm gonna try and...
I feel like-
oh my god. Okay, fuck that. We're using rave mode. There we go.
I feel like this game needs another
See? You see? You see?
Look at what is this?
Yeah. This is the first area I can tell this game was actually not meant to be played Undistorted. And I'm looking forward...
No, that's the best.
Oh shit.
I mean, the bones being thrown that fast is totally a thing. I was just like, man, nobody's ever gonna play this mode because that would be dumb. We'll just have the spacing be so horrendous.
So, what was the idea behind rave mode, by the way? Because to me, when I played, it just kind of felt like remove this screen from the game, like when you pressed it.
Oh, Brian, you want to message your name to Wafu? He's the one hosting the call because, you know, my internet has issues. Let's see, can I get that right now? Yes, I probably can.
Yeah, you can get that thing.
Okay, there we go.
You can get most things in DT1 on the first.
What is that
Run through.
fucking name, Brian? Are you... That is the... Wow.
What is Brian's name?
Jesus Christ. Well done.
What are you, Brian?
His Skype name is something far... It's far more dank.
And here's
Is it?
one thing about DT1 is that areas tend to have like little hidden alcoves or like hidden screens with treasures on them. This one's real easy to see since, you know, it's like right down the road, but there are some kind of cleverly hidden ones.
Okay.
Oh man, Brian's about to join.
Oh boy.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Oh yeah, booze. Don't be a noob, Moogie.
No?
You can deal with
Yeah,
booze.
I know.
You can do it.
Oh yeah, MI can do it too.
Oh no.
Should probably just use MI. I was defaulting to wind burst for whatever reason.
A fire hand will also work. A fire backhand. Yeah. That is the intended method anyway. But there's a million ways you can deal with enemies in this game because, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I feel like this game needs another difficulty setting that just like turns everything up to, you know, 20,000.
What, just everything is Wex?
Yeah, and like, you know, like everything is God since Jerry is God. Give the bosses more everything.
Alright, I got him.
Alright.
We're bringing in the Brian.
Shit.
Oh, there he is.
And that's my first death.
It's about to get crowded in here.
That's okay.
Hello.
Hello, Brian.
Hello.
We're playing your favorite game.
See, Wafa doesn't understand the difference between account name and like handle. So yes, I am Woody Brian on Skype, but I made the Skype account like a billion years ago. Back when things were different.
Things were different.
I'm very curious as to what his name is now, but I'm like looking at the game, so.
It's just Woody Brian. I'm Woody Brian everywhere, but like whenever you add
Right.
friends, I still have to do account name so you can find me.
Oh, I know what it is. Okay, yeah.
My
So
original
yes,
email
please
is-
add another difficulty. I would play it.
Probably, yeah. Not probably
So
you
here's
would.
what I was talking about,
I
like,
would.
Maybe I wouldn't apply like certain scaling things to enemies, but bosses, yes. Like Jesus, yes.
I would love like a remixed like post DT3 version of DT1 with bosses that weren't, you know, killed instantaneously.
Yeah.
That would make me happy.
yeah, at the same time,
Yeah.
this is like not exactly a short game. Like, is this short compared to...
It's a pretty short game.
It's short to...
Compared
Yeah,
to
compared to DT3, it's short, but it took me like 20 hours. It's pretty long for like, you know, a platformer or whatever you want to call it. I'm still not entirely sure what the best genre to refer to these games is.
Oh, it's bullshit.
Bullshit. That's a good genre.
Badass action platformer, as the process says.
Oh yeah. Didn't work as planned. That worked alright.
almost.
Like,
Oh,
Oh.
that dodge. I thought you were gonna get hit. I was waiting for it.
You tried, but
I really wish I had Blast Off. I'm so used to using Blast Off. It feels like I'm lost without it.
this
Hey, thank you, Smackledorf. Kinetic Visual Platformer Core. I'm like, what am I looking at?
Words.
Yeah, like
Words arranged in places.
yeah, like when people ask me about the games, I kind of describe them as Metroidvania. I feel like that's the easiest way to conceptualize them, even though they're like
Yeah.
not really Metroidvanias because they're so linear.
there's Metroidvania elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's mostly I usually like I don't actually explain the game to most people because it's not a thing I try to do. Like the vast majority of the people I interact with, I would never mention this game to. It's just like not because I'm ashamed of it, but it's just like it's not something they could easily comprehend.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, I'm gonna play The Witcher 3. It's like I'm gonna play another game. Don't worry about it.
That's the.
You know what they really can't comprehend? The spell system in this game.
No one can actually,
Not even
except
Zephyr.
for me.
I don't think I understand it either. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian.
Brian says he does, but he doesn't.
Yeah, that's just my hubris. Every time I play the game, I figure out something new. Like, I discover something completely new about the game every time I play it. Or
That's
watch
incredible.
someone
Your
play it.
Kadeku strat against Copy X recently, that was very cool to see.
That was amazing.
That was super amazing. I didn't even really know about that. Like I was like, oh, that's probably possible, but I never really saw it.
So I failed the...
Like, in a non-stupid run of the game, you could use that to cheese that fight super hard.
So I failed the very easy
But,
puzzle there,
alas.
which is, you know, dash
Alas.
forward. There's like a lot of early game items where the way to get them is just like basically do a dash, and that's because dashing used to be like harder to do. Like it has this really convoluted system where you had to hold forward and jump, and hold up rather and jump.
No, you had to hold up
Yeah.
or down. Like, up plus jump was a forward dash, down plus jump was a back dash. And the dashes themselves were really, like, short range. Like, right now when you press the dash button, you fly across the screen. That is not the way it used to be.
Yeah, no.
So, like, I do feel a little like, you know, it's like, oh, all the things are weird, you can just dash to get them. It's like, yeah, but it used to be really hard.
Yeah, like
Please
it
understand.
definitely makes the game easier in a lot of ways, but I feel like it makes it like easier for a good reason, and in that you're not like wrestling with the controls at all times.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the physics are also slightly different. Like if you go back to the older versions of the game, it feels a bit floatier. And,
Oh, they're way
and a
different.
bit.
They got tightened up
It's
super
almost like
hard.
ice physics in a way.
Jerry's a slip sliding little man.
Slippy sliding.
So we got this guy.
This guy.
This guy's kind of spammy
This
on
guy.
distorted. I'm noticing.
I don't know. I mean, maybe by other game standards, but
Yeah.
this game.
do you want like lead strats? Because when that guy's down on the ground, you can use wind burst, and it'll hit him like 2 or 3 times. Does a fuck ton of damage, like right now.
Yeah, he's actually weak. So he's crippled with fire, but he's weak to wind.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you hit
You
him
want to
with-
like stand inside of him so both hit him.
Yeah.
Just, no, stand inside of him. I know
Like
that was like 5 seconds
Yeah.
ago for you, but like,
That other
You're not-
difficulty mode needs to be called Brian mode, and the reason why it'd be called Brian mode because it would be made with somebody who knows this game in mind. Brian knows this game really, really well. Like the standing inside of him thing, like
Yeah, I would.
That
I
would
would
be
never
a
think to do that on my own.
right, and that's exactly.
well, you would never think of that because you play DT3 where every fucking thing has collision
Oh, yeah.
damage. Every goddamn enemy in the entire game. For no reason.
I think he just died to Dark Mind.
he did.
Darkman's a hard boss in
Yeah,
Distorted.
like this guy actually has a lot of stuff on screen. He'll deal damage.
And like, this is still early enough in the game that you don't have a lot of
Yeah.
elemental energy, so like,
Like I'm running out.
you'll run out and you'll start doing neutral stuff.
Yeah, I'm running out of wind energy like immediately.
Yeah, you don't want to do it unless he's crippled.
Okay.
For sure. Because you saw like 0 damage, because cripple means a lot on Distorted.
Yeah, it's tons of more damage there. And Fire Pillar, you get it after this guy, is super good.
Yep. Like every spell is used. It's amazing. Like once you like optimize everything, it turns out that there's a place for every spell in the game. Except for maybe Piercing Streak.
Yeah, piercing stream. It's kind of.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
I could figure out a use for it. I'm not sure if that like because I think it was Ilvo used Piercing Stream on Argus, and I never attempted that before, and it seemed kind of effective.
Yeah, I used it on Argus too, just to clear his little shit around him. But
Oh no, not for that, To actually just do damage to him.
All right.
There's no reason to do anything but Inferno to kill the guys.
All right. So that was Dark. Whatever his name was. He was the first like actual boss, and on.
Pro tip: run into the spikes.
Yeah, let's not run into the spikes.
No, actually do run into the
Oh,
spikes. I'm being
okay,
serious.
yeah, right. Definitely run into
I'll do
them.
that after this.
It's important. After every boss, you run into the spikes. You won't lose anything. This is the best part of DT1.
Oh. So yeah, the spikes, they don't do anything. Let's see.
Yep. And that's true of every boss in the game. You are invincible to everything until you leave the room and come back. You can stand in the lava in like the Blaze the Bat
Huh.
thing, taking no
I actually
damage.
did not know that.
It's Jerry showing off that he's a god.
That's
Now we
fascinating.
have water
Huh.
barrier, which is going to make things, a lot better for us.
It's a skill.
Let's see.
It's
It's
it
an
is
alright skill.
It's has some uses here and there. You can
little
say.
bit.
That's not as good as other skills.
There are many very good skills in this game.
Water barrier is in second place.
Yeah, we'll be seeing the best skill. I think we might get a display session. I'm not sure exactly when it comes.
Oh, you will. You will. You'll absolutely get it.
You'll get it this
Okay.
play
I
session.
think you're going
pretty
there
soon.
next, actually. Or no, you do Death Ruins, then Castlevania?
We'll find out.
No, Castlevania's next, but he's gonna
Okay.
do the optional level first,
Yeah.
though.
Oh, that's
He
a bad
has to.
idea.
Oh no, he should. He
That's
needs
a
to.
bad idea.
Well, we're
Actually,
gonna do it.
if you want, so like, check this out. Trigger the cutscene in Castlevania, go back to town, and he'll have the new equipment for
okay.
you. Because it's based on, yeah,
Lead strats from Zephyr.
yeah. I believe he updates the stock if you when you hit that trigger point.
If not, you need to patch the game to add
Let's
that.
see. I don't think I have the internet.
Because since
No, it doesn't add the new stuff.
no, I'm sorry, I lied.
Well, I bought new stuff right
Patch
before
the
going there,
game.
so maybe you just
Oh, okay, so it's after Dark
Yeah.
Mind then. Okay,
That makes more sense.
yeah.
But you should also patch it to add more upgrades. Right there.
So this is one of the optional stages in DT1. They're kind of the inspiration for the Nightmare Gates, and that they're like kind of a remixed version of stuff you just did, but harder.
They're much, much harder than the DT3 Nightmare Gate.
Yeah, they.
And it's funny, they're really short by comparison. Like, if you were speedrunning them, you'd get through in like a minute a piece or something. But they're very spammy and difficult.
They're much harder than anything. Like, honestly, I feel that like the hardest parts of DT1 are much harder than DT3. It's just that they tend to go by faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean,
I
don't
guess
think
it
there's
depends on
anything-
what difficulty mode though, because definitely not in hardcore. There's nothing in DT1 hardcore that's even close to DT3 difficulty.
I'm mostly
yeah,
thinking
I
about
mean, Storage Shroud Lord is really difficult.
I'm mostly thinking about the platforming here. Actually, there is some very silly platforming, especially in SDS.
Oh, there's some crazy platforming.
I don't know, all the crazy platforming is mitigated somewhat by having the best platforming skill in the game, Mental Insurrection,
That is true.
which you don't have in
That is
DT3.
true.
Oh yeah, MI is. I actually really like MI. It's just really fun to use.
Yeah, it's a good
General.
skill. It's like really simple, but like, it's just like good, good skill.
It's a little too good, even.
No, I
You're
think
like-
it's fine. It's
it's
not.
just-
it's not energy efficient at all.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
it's not.
It's just, I guess there's more like there's just no place for it, or something like it in DT3. Because you,
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't really fit because you're not supposed to be good in DT3.
Well,
You're
I've
not supposed to
I've
feel like you're powerful. You're supposed to feel like you're ass.
cleared entire screens with nothing but MI and dashing near the end
Yeah,
game
you can.
screens.
You can, especially if you like level up to 64 in Shady
oh
Woods.
yeah. When
Shady
I get to
Woods.
Shady Woods,
God bless.
I'm probably gonna level up, and I'm gonna do that off stream because nobody wants to watch that.
God, Moogie, stop doing everything off stream.
So
Oh
I'm-
shit
I
though.
want,
Don't do it off stream. Like, imagine the Kingdom Hearts talk that Wafu and I could have.
so I'm gonna show off this amazing tile set transition here. It's like it's the ugliest thing in the entire franchise. I'm gonna say it really.
Oh, idiots.
It's
This is my favorite part of the game. I was like, what can I do to make this look bad? Ah, yeah, just a square that looks like it's out of place. Looks like
Screen
some
was the
crap.
hardest thing in the goddamn universe on Achilles.
oh, I bet.
Oh my god.
God.
It
Right
was,
here.
it was so hard.
Dude, there's
So dealing with these guys is you have what is it? The level 1 water attack.
oh man.
Water blast?
Yeah, water blast.
I kind of
Water blast will destroy those things.
Yeah, but like, it's
It kills bullets in like one hit.
It doesn't. It's not one hit.
Oh,
Undistorted.
not distorted, right? Don't
Don't
die.
die here.
Mookie.
Don't die
Please
here.
don't die.
I didn't die.
As long as you get everything. Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
Let's
But
It's gonna.
when I first started playing this game, I started bitching about how hideous the game looked, and Brian said that it gets better going on. It does get better going on, because it is hideous when you first start the game, and it becomes closer to competently like put together as like levels.
Yeah, like we're gonna see
Goes on.
actually an area in DT1 that was reused for the Truing scenario in DT3, and like in DT3 it looks so much better. It's like not even a comparison. You like Zephyr got so much better at like putting together tile sets and all that.
Well, it wasn't intended to look the same.
Oh, it's iffy.
Yeah, it was more. It was more like it was supposed to be that area, but corrupted by Hex.
Yeah. So like,
But it still looked better.
Yeah, it looks much better. Like it actually has like atmosphere.
I think distortion has atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's
like
like a
distortion.
gradient atmosphere in the background.
And every time you and every time you use MI, it like
Yep, it
makes your eyes
flashes. Every distortion has some weird thing happen when you MI, except for Windows, I guess.
I think Windows doesn't have anything. Yeah.
Oh god.
But like, I never really understood that. But it just seemed like, I guess the way I interpreted it was that was like Jerry's signature ability, and so like it was reacting to the most Jerry thing you could
Oh
do.
god, text box is covering up enemies.
That's a classic
can-
though.
You
It's
can
classic.
deal with it. You got this. You have like 50,000 health. You're fine.
Yeah.
Even
You can get hit and survive. You're fine.
Yeah.
even Zephyr knows that Jerry's bullshit.
You probably have close to 2,200. You're good.
God, I was.
Yeah, I have 2142 at the moment, so I guess Zephyr knows his own game.
Okay, if we're getting a Brian mode of DT1, then you have no excuse not to Wexify all of DT3.
Oh my god.
DT3 is way bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. DD3
It is about triple.
But I would
thing,
like a
yes.
hard mode.
I
like a
would,
That would
true
be
hard
hilarious.
mode.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a true like what you did with Wex to War Master, but like for all of DT3.
That would
Oh
be
my
so
God.
goddamn amazing.
I would actually fucking die forever if you did that.
But you would have to give me the build first, and then I would stream it just to
Sure.
make Wafu sad.
Do you know the torture that would be for me?
Yes, I do.
Because I wouldn't want to watch
I'm
it. because
aware.
of the spoilers, but at the same time, I would feel compelled to watch it.
I know.
So I can't win.
That's why it's devious.
I am curious, like, what sort of hard mode stuff Zephyr could come up with for DT3. Because, like, I know he mentioned a couple things that he, like, nerfed later in development throughout the Nightmare playthrough, but, like, a fully unnerfed DT3, that would be interesting, yeah.
But don't. Well, I'd say don't unnerf the Metroid section, but I suppose you'd have to.
What was the
be
Metroid
real
section before he nerfed it?
I mean, Metroids don't really need to be powered up.
So, this was actually released, it wasn't pre-release. Torian used to be like 50 times harder, partially because the Metroids were buggy, and if you if you morph bomb them off of you,
Yeah.
sometimes they wouldn't move,
Yeah, they would immediately start coming after you. They
and
didn't have
then
that
they would
stall
latch
time.
back onto you like the frame that you knocked them off.
Yeah.
And it was the most frustrating thing in the
Yeah, that
universe.
doesn't sound like it was hard for, like, you know, a good reason.
And then
No,
they
no.
they had a lot more health, so it took a longer time to freeze them. I think there were more of them. I don't know if you removed any Metroids.
I may have removed like 1 or 2 at post-release, maybe.
Torian was the least fun I had in the entirety of DT3 my first time through. I hated
Yeah.
it so much.
I can
Yeah,
see that.
actually,
So
I
goddamn.
finished Samus Returns earlier today. And there's like a section in that which is, you know, basically the Turian section of DT3, except it's really easy. Like, for the most part, I wasn't really comparing the game to DT3's Metroid Gate, because, you know, it's pretty different, but then I guess again, it's like, oh hey, it's Turian from DT3, but easier, and it was, you know, kind of disappointing. All you do is, like, freeze them with the ice beam and then shoot them with a super missile and they die.
Which is basically every 2D Metroid game,
Yeah.
though. When you're dealing with like hatchling Metroids, anyway.
Yeah, Hatchling Metroids
Uh,
are really threatening.
Con-B, distorted mode,
Oh yeah.
ups all the stats of the enemies, to the point where like their defense is high enough that for bosses at least you basically need to cripple them or you don't do any damage. And a lot of enemies have sort of AI changes where they're faster, like things where like if they move across the screen, they'll move across the screen faster. And there are additional traps in like the first half of the game's bosses, like the spike trap in the center of this boss didn't used to exist, but it does in distorted difficulty.
Yep.
Distorted torso.
So yeah, this
This is the worst
This
boss.
guy's
It's the worst boss in the
pretty
game.
gross looking.
I have no idea what this guy does, so this is gonna be interesting for me.
Well, sometimes he does nothing and you can't win.
Yeah,
Huh,
like
I see.
yeah. This guy actually needs an AI change to where he actually uses his running around move, because that's the only time you can cripple him.
Yep, it is.
And he is complete RNG on when he uses it.
Yep, he is.
I mean, he's
There he
not
goes.
doing. Oh, I mean,
And now you can win. Just go beast him before he
Cripples.
uncripples.
I mean, he doesn't really do anything when he's standing
So, yeah,
still.
that-
I mean, like.
I think that was like the quintessential DT1 boss experience. Some guy who just kind of exists,
Yes.
and then you kill him without really knowing what he can do or why.
Yep. Also, Mugi, this is definitely I want to be the guy.
Oh yeah.
Wait, don't dodge that spike
No,
trap.
I went into it. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
Like you need to feel Brian's happiness there.
So, I am curious, Zephyr. Like, if you were to Wexify like Death, what would you change about him?
Rectify death.
It's never gonna happen.
Yes. Let me dream, please. Let me dream. I need this in my life.
Well, I have to imagine Death would be like.
I mean, I guess certain bosses would have more HP. Maybe not like a lot more. Sira would. Death doesn't really need a lot more HP.
Death.
I think Death's a good.
Death would probably be
It's a good
RNG based in some form, I imagine.
I would
No,
like
no.
keep RNG out. Like,
Okay.
there's like maybe 1 or 2 bosses left that have any RNG left. Boo Spider being one of them. Or
It's
Bow Spider.
two. It's
B-
Boss Spider and Menace.
Yeah,
as
Menace
far
has
as I'm
like
aware.
Menace has a tiny bit of RNG on like which way he steps.
Hey,
Which is dumb.
It's
Yeah.
fucking so annoying. I hated it. Like, I was trying to do sub 20-second Menace, and I needed him to step forward to do it. And if he didn't, well, I just go fuck myself.
yeah, it makes getting the gold times on both those bosses a real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like for
So-
Death, I would imagine, Zephyr can correct me, is like he'd probably do like more than 3 slashes. Maybe he does 4, and each one is like a frame or 2 faster. Would be a good
I'm not
start.
sure I would make
Right.
them
And
much
then, like-
faster than they are already, though. They are already.
That's why I said like a frame or 2.
Yeah, like a frame would be fine.
Because you can react to them with some time to spare. And then like his center or his middle like crazy attack. Maybe he has like 2 of those instead. Like one at 1/3, one at 2/3, or maybe that attack is more
Right,
devastating.
sort of like Wex's specials.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
And no checkpoint at Legion.
no checkpoints.
Oh, no.
No checkpoint
that?
at
You
Legion.
could, or you
Oh,
could
just
just,
on Legion.
or you could just make a checkpoint and make it like make Wexified Legion to be
Yeah,
a boss.
yeah,
Oh,
like-
actually,
Exact-
that'd also be amazing.
Yeah, like make Legion an actual.
Because Legion's a DT1 boss. Like,
Like, I get the.
Yeah, and he is by design. Like the whole idea, like Death is the fight. Legion is just more like a scare attack, or like a jump
Yeah.
scare.
yeah.
Where it's,
Yeah.
So it would be cool to have him like.
Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
Like, oh my god, I finally got past the Sword of Death. Now it's just the easy Legion. But then no, Legion is like this, like 10-minute long Don Maku
God.
boss now.
So no, the true journey there is you get to the end of Final Nightmare and it's actually Shroud Lord.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing.
You know, you go through the game again like la la la, and then suddenly like it starts, and then he hits you, and like you see his health bar go back to full from the mouth attack,
Zephyr, hire this man.
and the platforms appear on the side. You're just like no.
Well, to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
honest,
exactly.
I would have said hire Brian just for the Yoshi story. honestly.
That level had been talked about for literally years.
It really had like at least 2. At least. Like, was that pre-release?
That was well before release.
Yeah,
that
so, like,
was
So like 3.5 years, we'll say.
that was when I did my demo. Let's play. It was shortly after that because that's when we started talking on Skype.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's right around when you gave me the build that had like the Mega Man gate in it.
Okay. So about 3.5 years then. Yeah. It's quite a ways.
And like it was just I don't even know if you were mentioning like tester levels. I think I just said something like out of the blue, like, you know what would be funny?
Yeah.
If you got to ride a Yoshi, but then the only thing you could do was sacrifice the Yoshi. And that was it. And
Yep.
we both laughed at it, and I'm like, Zephyr, this needs to happen. He's like, because he wasn't like, he didn't want to make a bunch of levels, but
Nice,
you know.
Moogie.
And then I just kept mentioning it for like years.
Yeah.
How about that Yoshi level?
So yeah, I died to the.
It's so good.
It's the death pit here. It was good playing.
It literally showed up on screen like 8 times.
You still fell down.
Good at video
Yeah, but he was
games.
thinking about Yoshis.
That's
See?
true.
Head full
Okay,
of Yoshi.
Moogie, I have pro strats
Yeah.
for you. If you see a ghost, use fire. If you see a skeleton, use earth.
Okay.
This is a rule that holds true for the rest of the game.
Makes sense.
I
didn't-
tried to remain consistent with a lot of things. Tried to. Sometimes it
You
breaks.
see a bat,
Oh,
use
God.
water. I don't know why.
Water?
Water?
I thought it was wind. I thought it was wind.
Is it wind?
I
It's
thought
wind.
I
It's
thought
wind.
flying things
Like,
were like
a lot of
wind
flying
generally.
things are wind. That was amazing.
It really was.
You should scan the bat. You should scan the bat. Maybe I just use water because it's easier.
Yeah, 'cause
but
the-
Yeah.
The flying shrouds are wind, right? And I just
Bats are weak to wind, yeah.
no, the flying shrouds are earth.
I thought the bottom ones were Earth.
No.
Oh, you're
the
right,
Rounded ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
okay, fair
Reverse,
win.
it's reverse for shrouds. Because
Because Zephyr burst.
As
hashtag
Zephyr
burst.
first. By the way, I just realized, Brian, you should introduce yourself since these VODs are going on YouTube,
yeah.
and
Ah,
you just
fuck
kind of
it.
came in without nobody has any idea who you are.
Nobody will ever know who I am.
Who the fuck doesn't know who Brian is?
The Woody O'Brien?
Probably like literally everybody, honestly.
God damn. The shade.
So yeah, Brian is one of the testers for DT3. He actually likes DT1 a lot, and like we
He actually likes it.
we've made jokes about him being like the premier DT1 player, but he like actually is.
He's playing
So-
DT1 on Achilles. It's not a game meant for
Oh,
Achilles.
it's not at all.
No, it's not. But he's convinced it can. I mean, it can be done. It can be done.
Yeah, I'll do it.
But
I haven't done it in a
Brian-
while because Zero was in a hurricane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I want Zero to see it. He's definitely, like, important.
Zero's a great guy.
But-
You
I
have
was-
the
I
best
was
ability.
So now we have Earth.
I was the first person to beat DT3 on Achilles. That's, like, my claim to fame.
Oh, Brian, explain Earthshift to the lovely folks at home.
Okay,
This is
so
the best ability.
imagine you're making a game. No, you're playing a game. Imagine you're playing a game, and, like, there are walls and ceilings and floors, right? So you walk on the floors, and you kind of like are impeded by the walls and the ceiling when you jump. Now, what if you could do that to the enemies and everything? It's giving you the power of collision and physics, which nothing else does.
Yeah.
It's
Nor
absolutely
anything.
fucking amazing, and it trivializes so many things and gives you so many powers. It's if you've ever played Bunny Must Die,
Yeah. I've played it.
right? One of the most fascinating things about Bunny Must Die is the ladder ability that Chelsea has. It's a really fascinating ability just from a game design standpoint because, like, as a ladder, you can use it to climb, but it's also useful in combat. Earthshift is like a more amazing ladder.
Well, the ladder also actually like has a damage box. It deals damage on its own.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said you can use it for combat. Like you use it against the final bosses like Brachiosaur
Yeah.
form and all over
I
the
was
place.
mentioning that in contrast to Earthshift because it does not actually deal damage. It just has collision.
It does deal damage, but it causes you to deal so much.
You know, like Earthshift is interesting to me from a game design standpoint because like it's why games typically don't let you spawn just like arbitrary items with the collision at any point.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a game. It's really a testament as to what you should really not let the player do, but DT1 just kind of lets you do it because Jerry can do everything. Why the fuck not, honestly?
And the game was better for it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious, how many of the uses of Earthshift that you've seen, let's say, Brian do, were actually like thought of and intended?
Some of them. I don't know. There's been so many uses of Earthshift, I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
I
like,
honestly don't.
a lot of what I did were also discoveries from Zero. He discovered a lot of stuff early on, and like, we both discovered stuff, but I think he was the one that really like showed me the possibilities. And then once that fire had been lit in my heart, I just went on a rampage trying to find as many uses of Earthshift as possible.
Actually, I guess you can just duck under these fireballs, so I don't need to put them on Earth Shift. Oh, and here's a secret area, by the way. And oh yeah, these platforms despawn, so I died.
So I died.
One
Haven't
thing,
seen
like,
that yet.
one thing interesting
go.
about Earthshift is that like, it's not like if you told kind of like your average like gamer or something like that about like, oh, you just spawn a block. Nobody would really. It's very unassuming in that way, right? But anyone that's played, an experienced person who's played a lot of video games, like, oh my god, you can spawn a block. Like, it's kind of it's cool that way, I guess.
I mean, there are games where you can spawn a block that don't break in this way.
Well, it's a special case in DT1 because the enemies react to the physics of Earthshift in very interesting ways.
Like, you know, I played that awful game a little bit ago. What was it?
E7.
No, well, that, yeah. But, the
What game?
one Kefit likes and I don't.
Osakura P, when I translated?
Yeah! Yeah! Oscar P, you can summon a block and it's not, like, broken.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I don't think the enemies like break when they touch it either.
Well, enemies don't break when they touch it here. Like, the big uses are, like, you can put it in walls and create, like, it gets stuck in a wall, so you can create a platform higher up. That's, like, one of the big uses of it.
Yeah.
Or, like, you can just put it on the ground normally, but by standing on it, it gives you a higher platform with which you can use to, like, rupture something that you couldn't rupture before.
So I don't believe that electrified field is there on normal mode. I may be mistaken.
No,
Nope.
it is not.
So there, you can get that without taking damage now.
Oh, can I? What do I do? 'Cause
yeah,
I don't want to
yes.
come back later.
I would recommend just taking the damage because it's
Yeah,
gonna be a lot
just run through the
easier.
floor.
The way you would do it is by bunny hopping jump attacks until you get enough iframes to go through.
I'm actually not sure how you do that with taking damage.
So one of the easiest ways is just stand on an Earthshift and then you get hit and then dash.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe you'll have better luck with bunny hopping.
Oh shit. Okay, I see what you have to do. There we go. Yeah, we're almost dead, but it's okay. We cleared out the enemies.
Fucking dynamic regeneration just going on, you know.
Oh, and I don't believe there's a way to turn off the low HP effect in DT1, so, you know...
There
Oh,
is.
is there?
Yeah. I think the red things stay on the side, on the corners,
I
but
don't think they did.
maybe they don't.
I think
Look
I-
at that.
You
No, you-
can't turn off the bitrate explosion when you die,
Yeah.
but you can turn off the low health warn.
Okay, anyway, I'm gonna go do that, because I kind of don't like it. Oh, yeah, it's right there. Huh. I somehow missed that in my entire first playthrough.
It might have gotten added later.
Okay,
No, that was
No,
that
it's
was
top,
like the
top
first.
there.
I missed
Yeah.
something here, but we're gonna get item finder later. So.
Well, you have to miss something
Oh,
there.
right.
Yeah, it's
Although
like
you
right-
can
Right.
you can get it now. You can get it now. It's just a little.
See this grate up here?
little
It's
finicky.
a entrance to the secret area, but you're expected to have air dash and blast off, so we'll just come back for later. I want to show up.
But you can get it with Earth Shift and Zephyr.
Yeah. We'll come.
And Ground Dash and Mental Insurrection.
Yeah, it's a crazy combination. You can, if you use me, in combination with
Use me.
Mental Insurrection is really just Zephyr.
I
These
was
guys are
thinking
water,
that-
right?
I think they are. I know birds, chickens are fire because you burn chickens and eat them or something.
I tried to make flying things wind. These chickens that fly are fire because you burn birds.
Yeah, you burn birds because why not? They have fur and you burn
And these guys, I think, are wind here,
them. I think they are.
but they're
Which really
water in DT3, which is fucky.
Yeah, and I think they're water cripple, and then they're wind something, which really should change. That's
Well, there's no difficulty where they're hard enough to kill that warrants that.
Yeah,
True.
I'm like mostly ignoring the cripples.
Only in Brian mode.
Oh god, Brian.
Yeah, in
Mode.
Brian mode, you just have to cripple anything to deal damage. Like, fuck you. Use cripple.
God.
I would love all these things.
And like,
Like things are just ridiculous to kill, but they give you ass loads of experience points.
so one thing
You can't make anything easier.
One thing that came up when Wafu was playing the game that was kind of helping with areas is like, Earth Shift is almost always the answer, or like one of many answers. Even if you don't think the answer is Earth Shift, try using Earth Shift. It'll probably work.
Yes,
That's
that's
correct.
what I said. Yes.
Oh, you can actually kill the cannons.
Oh yeah, you can totally kill them. If you cripple them, it just destroys them.
I found
Actually, it'd
out
be
that-
interesting if this theoretical, hypothetical thing actually just started you at 100%.
Oh,
So you were like level 64, had all your items, had all your spells,
that would actually be pretty cool.
and then it was... But then everything was like dumb.
Yeah.
Everything's just Shroud Lord here.
It's like, oh, actually, you're max level Jerry with all of your items? Oh, really? Also, the spikes there are funny.
I feel you would have to conjure the most outrageous bullshit to keep up with
know.
level 64
he
Jerry.
wants
No.
he wants it.
Like, the amount of
Mostly,
insanity.
like, I do feel like the stages are probably as good as they're gonna... Like, because worst stages are just dumb, but, like, really hard boss remixes would be amazing. Like, that's what I would be most excited
For
for.
the most part, I actually think the level design in DT1 is like actually pretty good. There are some standouts that are, not good, but for the most part, I think Zephyr did a pretty good job. And you can tell it's the same guy that made DT3.
Yeah, but, like, right now in Distorted, the enemy density is like, right at the cusp. I think. Because if you just added anything more or made them tankier, I don't know if it would be fun.
Like there are.
And
Yeah,
like
like
my least
a new
favorite
mode
thing
would
is
not.
strats. So.
Oh yeah, and the shrouds have been lessened.
Isn't it everyone's least favorite thing is the Shrouds? I can't imagine anyone plays this game and comes out of it going, man, I love Shrouds.
There
People
has
don't
to be
hate them as
one
much as
person.
I do. I think.
So like I think
Like-
the Shrouds are fun to fight, but not in the
Yes,
situations.
we have broken people
But
here.
not in the situations that Zephyr like ends up making you fight them in. Like not even Zephyr, but like the RNG that makes them spawn makes you fight them in.
I mean, the best the best answer to Shrouds is when they come up is, how do you deal with Shrouds?
Yeah.
Don't, yeah.
That doesn't really work though.
I mean, I just press rave mode and delete them, and then chug the fucking distorted the Shroud warning down items.
Yeah, those are both things I don't do. Use rave mode and use consumables.
I remember this skill point giving me some hardships. It was very annoying.
This is the
It's
worst.
kind of hard to figure out how to use an MI at first, but I've played the game twice now, so I'm fairly confident
Oh, big
in the
man.
basic controls.
I will say, for as much grief as I give this game, I mostly give grief to the combat system. To be totally honest, I called it the platforming equivalent of Solitaire when I called it, and
I thought you were gonna say sodomy.
that's comparable too. But like, I actually like some of the items kind of like that, but like the ones where you have to do like absurd dumb shit, like, you know, Zephyr Earthshift blast off 3 times into MI dashing and crap like that. It's really satisfying to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fucking Blackrock MI chain room. It used to be so much harder.
Oh yeah, like I can do it every. I can do it every time now. It's like no problem.
It's a lot easier now, and it's fine. It's just it used to be like the hardest item to get in the game.
I can imagine how much grief that would have caused, especially with like old controls and physics.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of the reason the original version is much harder is like it's just because the controls were like bad. Yeah, let's just go to it.
Well, I mean, like they were. So the length of your dash is not an objectively bad thing. Like getting dash buttons doesn't mean that you need to like increase the dash length, the dash like distance.
Right.
But that was changed regardless. And so like it could have been you still have your sort of dinky dash, but you have dash buttons. And at that point it would have been still fairly difficult. That extra distance helps a lot.
It still kind of freaks me out when I use the Claire dash as Jerry. I like continuously kept forgetting that I had it, and would always just expect to do the ground slide.
That's what you give me to play TD3 first.
Right?
Yeah.
It's got a 3 there. That's not 1. Idiot.
The room in particular that is like most neutered in the new versions is Think and Act Fast. Because like Zephyr initially had to like actually like make the platforms in that room bigger because Raoul complained so much, but now it's just like
it wasn't the platforms; it was the color zones. I thought
he had to make something bigger in that room.
Oh no, there were some platforms that were
because of the loose physics of Jerry.
Yeah, Think and Act Fast was a very difficult room.
So, funny note about color zones. When I first played DT3, and I was talking to Moogie about like what the other games were like, he ranted to me incessantly about how the first DT1 was like had color rooms going out the ass, and that there was basically that like Zephyr just went crazy with color zones, and they were just fucking everywhere in DT1. There's fucking 4 rooms with them. Like,
no, there's way more. There's way more than 4 rooms with color zones.
Okay, there's not very many.
Yeah, there are.
There's not. There's not. It's
there's like 10 rooms with color. No, there's more than 10. Like yeah, it's one dungeon. It's one dungeon, but it's the longest dungeon in the game, and almost every room has color zones.
It's the second half of SDS, basically.
Yeah, like from playing the game initially.
No, it's from the start of SDS. Second half is when the rocket, when the whatever they're called.
Guys, yeah.
Like the color zones were there basically from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the color zones were the main.
Now you can argue there are rooms where they are not meaningful.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of just deleting the ones where they don't really like do anything for my mind, probably.
Yeah, like when I played this game originally, I was much worse at the game, and it had like not all the tweaks that made it like easier to deal with. So the parts I remember were basically the parts that frustrated me a lot, and color zones are probably the #1 source of grief for me in my initial playthrough back in what was it, 2012? Because I played it when Raoul LP'd it. Okay, I believe this guy is weak to water, not water, but wind, but we'll find out.
Meta Knight.
Meta Knight.
He's a DT1 boss.
Yeah, he's a thing.
He's a boss you don't cripple.
Yeah,
Well, you can.
I am curious to see what he looks like in Distorted, because I don't know what he does either.
Doesn't do a whole lot of much.
He's
anything.
He's definitely a DT1 boss.
You should think about what you're doing here, because it's wrong.
Yeah, it is.
You have an ability.
You have a thing you can do. It's like we've been having this conversation for the last like 20 minutes about this particular ability, and then you're like, I'm gonna forget about this.
Like this
for
boss
70 years.
on a Brian mode. The moment you spawn, the moment you use a certain ability, which is on screen, something would happen.
Yeah.
On this particular boss.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I don't actually know what you're supposed to do without this strategy, like at all.
You have to be you have to be very fast about like getting the crippling, and then you just I don't know. But yeah, you just
Like Meta Knight doesn't really have like clear tells for what he's doing or anything. Like he just kind of does stuff very fast.
P1.
And
you
like
want to stand on the earth shift and do down hits. That's really all you want to do.
On hardcore, I just sort of made him die by crippling him, and then he didn't do anything anymore. But I don't know what to do. Like undistorted just kind of seems like a pain until you do this, I guess.
Yep, that's the strat. And then when he jumps above, you go down, summon a new one, repeat. So enticing.
Yeah, this is a great boss. Did you figure out the amazing strategy?
Yep.
This is an exciting boss fight.
It's good because your 3-hit strike isn't actually about hits, it's just about swings of your arm. So you can do like whiff, and then a large amount of damage.
Yep. This is true.
Which is pretty weird. It's a pretty weird thing.
This reminds me about like Killer being Virgil over and over in the face.
Oh, look at that little roll he did. It's so good.
Yep.
So amazing.
Oh man, in like Brian mode, if you hit the state to glitch out Flame Instigator, he just kills you.
That's
Like
perfect.
if he at all just comes near the rock, he just you know.
He just fills the entire screen with fireballs and becomes invincible until you
He
die.
does Wex's 20% special.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, that was the first demonstration of how Earthshift breaks bosses. Because like
Oh, Earthshift.
we're gonna be seeing
It's
more.
only the start.
And now,
One of the less impressive ones, I think.
Yeah, I think the first thing, Brian, I know exactly the moment that you were like, the moment was King
Zeros. Yep.
Mech. King Mech. That was the moment that everything changed for Brian.
King Mech, really?
Yeah, King Mech.
King Mech.
I'm curious on that. I don't know that.
so we are now in.
I never thought to use that.
Jerry disappeared.
Yeah, we're now in the first
was weird.
distortion, which is there are parts of this that were reused in DT3, and like one of them in particular is very noticeable, and we'll get there in a little bit.
Oh god, this area is so disgusting looking. It's so
Zero's great. Zero's great.
It's so gross. The tiles are
You're
gross.
gross.
It's hideous.
Brian wants to shut your mouth, I guess.
I should not stand on the platforms. I should just jump down there. That was dumb on my end. And like I'm like.
Oh man.
Bye bye, guys.
Jerry's had
Yeah.
enough of this existence.
It's like in Sonic CD, if you wait around too long, Sonic's just like, bye guys. That was what Jerry was doing there. Oh, and that's an interesting feature, which I just showed off there. If you like have too much of an item that a chest gives you, it gives you internets instead. And that's, and like, usually you're not going to use items, so basically for most of the game you have a shitload of internets.
Usually.
Oh yeah, that's a feature from the shitty stupid game that I made. Brian, when are you gonna?
I got a lot on my plate.
I want to know about the
Yeah, I
shitty
want to see the
stupid game.
shitty stupid
But, like,
game.
It's gonna happen. I mean, you can see VODs, the highlights on my
That's true.
Twitch channel.
It's not
It's,
nearly as
uh,
Oh, and
exciting.
apparently,
It will be continued. I will beat that game. I don't know when it'll happen, but I'll do it, and it will be streamed.
yeah.
Oh, that
And
game.
apparently Zephyr is like.
It's a very interesting game.
Zephyr is like making like quote unquote game in Game Maker Studio 2 for Brian to play through on stream. And
Yeah, I have no idea what this is at all.
Yeah, no.
I know
he
nothing.
He can't know anything.
I don't know if he's gonna be like, oh, it's contact damage the game, lol, or if it's gonna be something completely other than like I don't know. Zephyr is not a human,
it's just gonna be like
so it could be anything.
Of course he's not. He's just skill in DT1.
This is
it's
true.
gonna be like 100 screens of Earthshift puzzles and nothing else.
I don't know.
I mean, Brian would get off on that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really.
That would be amazing actually, but Like there's a possibility of an actual Dark Yoshi's Big Adventure, which I would that.
That would be pretty divine. I'm not gonna lie. That would be.
It would be like a puzzle,
Yeah.
right? Where each screen, the goal is to kill Dark Yoshi, but the pit is like covered up in various ways, and you need to like find switches and kill enemies to unlock paths.
Taking inspiration from Yomp.
I suppose. I haven't watched that series, but
You probably like it's probably the most interesting Super Mario World ROM hack that Raukau has done in quite some time, and like
I can't deal with all the Mario.
yeah,
I can't.
yeah, like Raukau does too much Mario. Like I'm almost Marioed out at this point, but I've still found pretty interesting because like a lot of it is not like I don't know how to say it. It's not like,
All right, hold on,
Yeah.
Moogie. So this is a really important part. So go back to the left
Yeah.
a little bit. Go back to the start of the
at
room.
the start of the room.
Oh, yes, I know.
Okay, so there's
Oh,
a
what's happening?
story. There's a story. What? You can't kill the frog? Are you a fucking pussy?
Yeah, kill the frogs. Tell the story.
Just
Okay.
Holy shit.
I'm just like really.
raid mode the frog.
God. Okay.
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
So up in the top left corner of the screen, you can see a
Yeah,
switch.
You can see the switch.
That switch used to be one block higher.
Mhm.
It is not, because I was attempting to hit that switch with boomerangs from right here, and I was like a pixel off. And I said, Zephyr, change this for me right now, and he said, yes, sir. But the consequence of that, because no one actually tested
Yeah.
this, is that now, if you jump into that hole,
Yeah.
like if you do it the normal way and you go down there and try to hit it, you can't jump back out without earth shift. It is actually too low to the ground now,
But
which is
Yep.
amazing.
for making the game
Yeah,
worse,
I've-
Brian.
No, it's better. This is way better.
This is so much better.
We got
That is the coolest speedrun strat in the entire game.
yeah, Zephyr's always been like kind of accommodating towards speedrun strats that people find and stuff as long as it doesn't like break the game. It's cool with him.
Sometimes even if it does.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying about Yomp, like part of the reason it's interesting is like it's not like actual level design. It's like forcing the player to like exploit the weird mechanics of Super Mario World. And in that sense, I guess it's kind of similar to like the GT1 experience where you're constantly exploiting weird stuff. And like Raukau is capable of playing it because like he's been doing it for 10 years and all. He knows all these weird quirks of the engine. But like someone new to Super Mario World would just not be able to play it. Period.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure that like in every Mario series, there's stuff worth watching from Raukau, but like there's so much that isn't.
Yeah,
And it's not Raukau's fault. It's just boring gameplay.
yeah, it all kind of blends together.
There's only so much Mario you can do. It's not that interesting. Grumpy old man Brian says while grumpying in his
I mean,
chair.
like, I appreciate that Raukau finds something to enjoy in all these games, but like,
You can stand on these platforms and you won't take damage.
like I appreciate that Raukau finds something to enjoy in these games, but like at the same time, a lot of them are just not interesting to watch at all.
You should show that off. You should stand on the platforms.
Okay, I'll stand on the platforms now. Okay, yeah, you don't take damage here. I'm glad Brian is here to make me show off, like these really like pointless minor things.
I don't know. Like that. I think that's always been the case. I don't know.
I think so.
And I'm gonna check to make sure I didn't miss anything in the previous screen because this game did
So,
not used to
on the-
have a kill yourself feature, so you can like walk around and test stuff as much as you can now. But I guess you just fall in the pit too. But
So that gray like warp there, right near the entrance, or right near the exit. That's actually a leftover
oh, okay,
from when this room and the next room were one room.
yeah,
Oh
So
yeah, this one
that's
was
not
split.
connected to anything. You will never spawn
yeah.
there.
It made me think I had missed something, so I went back and checked.
It always was the biggest tease.
One day I'll delete that. Well, like I'll just hit delete on that
Okay.
You
object.
should make it so it's an in portal, and it teleports you to a magical world. You have to come back when you have like blast off and hurricane just to reach
Yeah.
it.
That'd actually be a fun little Easter egg. There is actually
You fight Alexander.
There is actually like a hidden map in the very last area that you can't get to without super blast off, which we'll show off later. And I thought that was kind of cool to see.
Super blast off.
Yeah, I've never actually gotten there because I didn't know about this until recently, and I haven't gotten a.
Like a clear
I
file.
haven't actually gotten a save there. I mean, I have saves there, but I want to do it in my Achilles run.
It's not that interesting.
So that was pretty hot the way you made it to that thing in the first try. Pretty cool.
Yeah, like I practiced like a bit before doing this run. Like I wanted to make sure this. I knew how to do all the platforming and all. But there's still gonna be spaghetti.
Shows.
There's always spaghetti.
Well, it's just there's no reason to kill these things.
There's always reason to kill things. Just to get the Unreal guy happy.
He just needs to be happy.
He's gonna get super happy with the slimes, don't worry.
Oh yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah, like in this game, there's no way to turn off Unreal Guy, and I think that's great. Unreal Guy should always be on in DT3, and he's always on in this game.
I'm like the only person who doesn't use Unreal Guy in DT3.
I don't use him in DT3 either, don't worry. You're my soul animal.
Haters.
I'm your soul animal.
You're my soul animal.
It's a spirit animal.
My
or a
Patronus.
soul
So you
mate.
can get up here, and
It's one of those two
there's
things.
nothing up here.
You're...
No, there's
Oh,
nothing
God.
up there. I'm sorry.
That was,
Disappointed. I've disappointed you.
it's,
What the hell, Brian? You don't want to be my soul animal? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying that's not a thing.
yeah, it's
It's a thing to me,
it's spirit
motherfucker.
animal. So let's try and do this screen better this time, since the game gave me another opportunity to do so.
Just wants you to keep having
Yeah.
fun.
It'll never not want you to
One thing
continue.
you probably noticed.
Well, no. Right after you beat a boss, it's like you're all tuckered out. We're not gonna let you die.
Yeah,
One thing to
it's
note
nice
is
to.
that like Jerry's dash restores extremely quickly in this game compared to DT3, so it feels like you basically have infinite dashes in a lot of parts.
It's like Wex and Dash Boots at the same time.
All right, I believe I'm gonna want Wave of Awesome for this friendly guy.
This friendly guy, he says.
This particular one.
You can.
Which boss is this? I don't know. I don't know.
But
who
you
this
should
is.
probably cripple
Yeah,
him.
I'm gonna cripple him. Don't worry.
This is the first boss where it's like you could Wave of Awesome, but it's actually not. It is good. It's just not amazing because you don't have enough spirit yet.
Cripple point fireball.
No, you fucked it up. God damn,
Yeah, Brian,
Marty.
I fucked up everything. Oh, and here's the wind orb.
You fucked it up.
The wind orb. Everybody loves the wind orb, right, guys?
Yeah, Windorp's great.
It takes so
I-
many hits when you can take hits.
I forgot this boss had the wind orb. I forgot this boss did any of
That
these
was
things.
basically the sole notable feature of that boss. He uses the wind orb sprite that War Master would later use. And he dies because
He's Shroudmaster Light. He has 2 hands. You can kill the hands.
like, killing the hands is like not even really that meaningful because he just dies anyway. Okay,
Like in Brian mode, that guy would just take no damage if the hands are around.
Oh,
that would actually be a good like change to the fight. That would like make the hands meaningful in some way.
This room fucking
Oh,
sucks.
and here's Hex's introduction. Hex is like an extremely different character in DT1 compared to DT3. We call DT3 his emo phase. And this is like the last room before the Hexor fight in DT3. And he makes a comment about, he or Jerry makes a comment about the advancing wall of death, I believe. And that's what it is.
This advancing wall used to be like the second hardest room in the game.
And I beat it.
Not
It's
even
true.
joking.
Yeah.
It's
and now
true.
It's like it used to be so hard.
Yeah, I beat that Achilles first try now, so it's not hard anymore. Oh god, it's this room where... Okay, this room might take a while to get all the stuff in it.
Oh god.
All the stuff, all the one stuffs.
The one stuffs.
You know, there's a particular person I would have assist me in making a Brian mode. It would be Zero. I'd be like, you can't tell him anything about what's going on here, and he would approve basically everything. He'd be like, yeah, this would make Brian suffer. You should just add that.
Zero knows
Oh shit.
all the horrible things.
He does. Zero would be the perfect candidate to surprise Brian.
You're like, why doesn't this have contact damage? You'd be like, I don't know.
I don't think I would not turn it into contact damage the game. No.
So here's an interesting thing, right? In previous Dash, you could only dash fast enough to keep up with this platform.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how slow it was. It was actually like perfect. So when you went across the ceiling there, you had to dash from pillar to pillar or you'd fall behind and you'd miss the platform. And there was no way to catch back up
So
with
I'm
it.
pretty glad I did that first try, because I was worried that might take forever.
It's very easy now.
Yeah.
Oh, got pushed by the...
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
can't.
shit.
It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Nothing really matters. Yeah.
Nothing really matters. Oh well, it matters if you do
Yeah, it
that.
does. I die on the part I didn't expect to die on, which... That'll probably end up being a theme for this playthrough.
You don't actually need any of those 3 platforms at the start.
Yeah, I know you don't. But if you do, you can do what I'm doing now and ignore this entire obnoxious section of platforms.
I've never actually done it without any of them though. I've gotten close.
Okay, there we go. And we're out of the distortion. Oh, this is the important lore scene. We're gonna take it.
Yep, that only
Oh.
Brian remembered.
No one else remembered this. Yeah.
Only Brian.
Alright.
What is this scene? What the fuck? Oh, this is the this. When I saw this when I first played, I shit myself.
Okay.
I couldn't believe it.
Jeremy, you have the ability to change the worlds currently viewed. Remember this fact. You can undo anything. And, like, something like, what was it, 7 years later, we would actually get to see Jeremy undo something. So, yeah.
You can look back at my LP where I didn't know what was gonna happen,
Yeah.
right? It's all blind to me. And I'm like, okay, we're at the ending, but we haven't seen the undo yet. We gotta see the undo. And then it didn't happen, and I just, like, during the credits, you could just hear me like, but what about the undo? But where's the undo?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's a pretty magical moment.
Alright.
I was lost.
So, I think for this session, we're gonna get to Flame Instigator and beat him and then call it a night.
Assuming you can beat Flame
Yeah,
Instigator.
Flame Instigator is, like, probably gonna be the first, like, hard thing, period.
He's been nerfed a bit, but he's still kind of tricky. Don't tell that to Quaff, because Quaff hates every opinion I have.
And we've got the Zelda switches here, which would make their return in, you know, Zelda.
So, these actually got changed to be like DT3. They used to do the Link to the Past, like, time
Pause.
stop when they got
Yeah.
hit. Yeah, pause when they were triggered. Which was fine when you were the ones hitting them. That wasn't a problem. But when enemies hit them, you would just like randomly stop in midair for a second, and it would fuck up your platform.
Yeah, that's a good change.
That's
No, you got a mental insurrection. Those snakes,
I
goddammit!
did not mentally insurrection the snakes. I'm sorry,
It-
Brian.
It kills all of them at once, and you get an extra yellow rupee.
That's right. That's
So
it's
mad.
True.
I'm so mad.
Don't trigger Brian's anger.
The anger of the DT1 god.
Also, that's a skeleton.
Yeah, it's a skeleton.
Use Earth. Oh god! Oh god! It's fine, everything's fine.
Poor Brian. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
there's gonna be
Brian.
more snakes coming
I'm
up.
sorry you have to witness this horrible play, Brian. Hopefully you can find in your heart to forgive me.
No, but there's gonna be more snakes coming up.
It's just this. No.
Oh, and one thing that was changed about recent versions is that entering the save room fully heals you. Because Zephyr knows that people would just sit in there and wait for their spirit and MP to refill and cast Nature's...
That wasn't actually changed recently. That was changed like 2 years ago or something.
Recently compared to when the game was originally released.
But yes,
Yeah.
there was like a couple of revisions where it's like, yeah, people just people just heal inside the save points, so I'll just include one of the healing posts inside the save points, and then they can just use that. And then there was like, actually, I'll just heal them. But then he didn't take the healing points out, so now there are these completely pointless, like, healing posts inside the save rooms.
Yeah, and a lot of those have been removed now.
Oh, have
Like
they?
I removed most of them.
You do this.
You
Oh,
should
the
see-
ones out in the world,
Yeah.
but not
You
the
should
one
see.
inside the save room.
No, that's so you can continually play around with whatever you want to play around with.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
You
That-
just earth shift into the wall.
Yeah, I could have done Earth Shift in the wall, but I did it with Fireball because I want to be cool.
That is the least cool way to do it.
That's the way I do it. So
Yeah.
I guess
That's
I'm
the-
not cool.
Alright,
I
here's
mean,
another
and never
magical
mind.
usage of earth shift.
Yeah.
This is
Nope,
where you're
never
supposed
mind.
to use
Boogie's
it.
not gonna do it.
I mean,
Like this, like Brian mode would make this like you have to use Earth Shift.
yeah, like,
Just like
But then other things would happen. Like something's gonna happen here.
I'm actually just sort of looking at you aghast. No, that's not how you do it.
it's not. You put it in the wall, I'm guessing.
No, you don't put it in the wall. Stand basically where the torch is near the ground, face inwards, and place the earthship there and crouch.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, I have no idea what these guys are weak to. Let's actually scan something for once.
Earth, I think.
Yeah, Earth. Okay. Let's see. Probably a way to do this with Earth Shift as well.
This one's cool enough to do with. Well, you're doing it with boomerang. Why?
Because I don't actually know the correct way to do it.
So you're supposed to gator wheel up
Oh,
the
gator
wall.
wheel, okay. Come on. There we go.
The science of earth shifting.
Ah, okay.
Oh my god.
Wave of Awesome is the true like way to play this game.
You're out of spirit now.
Yeah, I have to wait for my spirit to refill. Okay. And Wave of Awesome is an
Yes, sir.
interesting ability because depending on which way you're holding the direction, it does different things. And one of them is the gator wheel. And I forgot it existed because there's like very few places you want to use the gator wheel.
Yeah, basically.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I guess the no, I guess you use the gravity well in certain places.
It's good for certain. it's
Didn't
good
get
for
the
damage.
yellow rupee.
I did not get. We're gonna have another shot at that because I died, so don't worry.
God, that was amazing.
Bring dishonor to your family. That would be so meaningless, but I love it. It's my favorite thing.
Come on.
I am a fan of that rupee.
It's a good rupee. I wish there was more stuff like that in the game. Just like weird, almost mini-game type stuff for killing enemies in strange ways.
Yeah.
I mean, rupees are kind of meaningless, but like... I don't know.
Okay, Brian, I'm doing
Yes,
the
it's
Earth Shift
patience.
strat now. I hope you're happy.
Yep, I am.
Ah, it's beautiful. Look at that.
I'm hard.
What the fuck? I didn't. What the fuck?
Did Wafu not know about this?
No, I did not
Oh
know.
my God.
about this.
This is if you can
Now
use
that
Earth
you're gonna have to
Shift, use
refresh it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do the refresh ones, but
You can learn the refresh timing and it'll be seamless. But yeah.
okay.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
Earth Shift, and it made Brian very happy.
God, I'm coming.
extremely.
What the fuck? Oh, that was amazing.
So the one in Dirty Ruins was made for Earth Shift. Like that one wasn't necessarily made for it, because some people just weren't going to use it by then. Which, as we saw with Mugi, he didn't, or he wasn't going to. But like the one in Dirty Ruins was,
You did it. You did it.
he did it. He grabbed it. Look at that. Oh, he stood on that guy.
So
and didn't take
pro.
damage.
So pro. God damn.
That was actually a cool set of like pro dodging there.
Oh nope. Never mind.
And then I kind of just take the rest of the screen because why not? Let's see, is there something secret over here? Yeah, there is.
This room is actually trash. I hate it. Right there in like bottom 5 rooms of the game.
This room's not the best thing that's ever happened.
It's actually one of the worst. The fucking infinite spawning, impossible to see little black shroudy things as you're trying to do platforming, and then right when you manage to do it, there's another fucker just gonna shoot from the platform you need to jump to. Just, I'm gonna kill myself.
Wow. That was a cool
Yeah.
like sound effect there, Brian.
Yeah, Brian, I'm glad that Brian's sound effects carry on.
Did you think they were gonna die or something?
We need a Brian soundboard.
I will still. I mean, we've been talking about a Brian mode of DT3, but there's already been plans for a Brian mode of DT3 for like years now, like as
Yeah.
long as Yoshi's have existed.
As long as Yoshi's have existed.
Yeah, basically.
It's a version of DT3 where I replace all the sound effects of the game with my voice.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that on Discord. It used to be like Brian saying, jump, dash.
Yes.
etc.
I don't actually make sound effects. I say what the sound effect would be.
I'm just trying to
Which
imagine
is
what that would
just,
sound like
it
for.
would be so fucking funny. For
What
like
would that
5
sound like for Wex? Like
For
Wex
5
is just
minutes.
like dash, jump, attack.
Well, I don't know, because like sound effects get reused, right? So I would speak, assuming it was being used in its most common situation.
Yes.
But then Zephyr might have repurposed it for some other thing that I'm not sure of, and so like some attack might just be jump, something like that. I don't know.
One of the greatest things is there's certain sounds that sound unique, but it's just like 2 or 3 sounds overlaid on top of each other
And, like,
with
that
varying
just-
volumes. So
My
you might hear like a
soul
really
fucking
quiet
loves it.
Brian in the background.
Oh my god, this is ridiculously dumb.
So their spawning speed changes based on the difficulty you're on too. Also that one twirly chain at the top. It's the best twirly chain.
Yeah, it's cycles, man. Cycles.
By the way, if we're doing the Brian sound effect mode, I want like Brian doing like audible noises for Hex's boss theme. Or he just makes sound effects for all of it.
I hadn't thought about like songs like background music,
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
but
It has Hex.
vocal renditions of all the songs with myself as harmony and melody and percussion. God, that would be so much work.
I really want it for like Warship Hex because it would be
Just-
perfect. Just
yeah.
like Brian going.
So I actually did some pretty sweet dodges on the cycle area beforehand, and nobody commented on that. It makes me sad, but it's okay.
We were talking about
More
like
thinking
important
about
things are being discussed. This is a very professional LP. If you didn't notice.
yeah.
This is not-
See, like, so you'll notice in this little moment here, Brian, there used to be a healing stick there, but it's not there anymore.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
There's still a few healing sticks here and there, but they're not.
There's at least one healing stick in the game that is not accompanied by a save. I think.
Yes. And
The ones in Metropolis for the Robot Masters, I think they have sticks but no saves,
yeah.
or saves but no sticks. I can't remember.
And there's a map, a certain forest,
Oh god.
that has a save, that has another save point in a map that it should have had a save point.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
There's a, yeah.
I hate that forest. By the way,
I think he does.
Everybody hates the forest.
That
It's
forest is the worst.
That map
Oh.
number 2. Map number 2.
Like,
You
not
don't have
the
a save
white
point.
forest. Not like the forest though, but like parts of the forest.
Yeah.
Like I like that I can level up to 64 there, and it's beautiful and easy. That's not gonna work. You can get that though.
it
Oh,
actually did work.
It worked. Holy shit.
It's not
Yeah,
gonna work.
usually you need the earth shift. So like when you spawn an earth shift, it falls,
Yeah.
right? Like you spawn it midair, it falls. And so once it intersects with the ground, like for that, it's those platforms that lower. It doesn't get pushed back up, so it's like flush,
Yeah.
which means that depending on where your height when you spawn it, it may intersect more or less with the platforms that it lands on, which would make it lower overall if it intersects more. And so you need to optimize your earth shift placement so it actually like lands nicely and is flush with it, because then you can make it. So I guess you managed to get it just flush enough.
Like Brian says, every time somebody streams DT1, he learns something new. Alright.
I knew you could do that. I misjudged how low it was.
So yeah, this guy is like Flame Instigator. He is like very, very loosely the inspiration for orange form of War Master.
Yeah.
Flame Instigator was like the first boss that took me more than one try early in this game, and not for the best reasons, because he's kind of like Meta Knight in that all his attacks have very little tell to him, and like he just kind of does things randomly.
So there is like a legit, like, reliable way to kill this guy without taking damage, without exploiting it.
Alright. We're gonna see if I can figure that out.
But I highly recommend you just earth shift this fucker.
Yeah, like as soon as he's above you, just earth shift.
So it has to be not there. He does 2 different jumps, and only one of them can be exploited. It needs to be the one where he jumps backwards, like that.
Yeah.
That was like 5 seconds ago for you, but when he jumps backwards, if you get the earth shift underneath him and then immediately despawn it, he has like a 90% chance of bugging out.
We're gonna see if we can do that.
Oh, I want to see this happen. I've
It's
never
pretty-
seen this before.
And usually he does it like right at the beginning, so he shoots and then he'll jump back after, yeah. But you need to dash forward farther than you think you do because he has travel time.
Right.
Dude, the fucking traps are hardship inducing.
Yeah, they're.
Gotta be man.
This is one of the maps where it's actually a thing.
I didn't get it quite right.
No,
I'm
he's
really
jumping forward. It won't work when he jumps
Have to do it when he
forward.
jumps backwards.
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, I see you had it. You just despawned it too soon.
Got hit by the fireball that time. That was embarrassing.
So embarrassing. He's basically guaranteed to jump backwards as like his first or second
There we
action.
Here you go, Wafu.
There we go.
There you go. There you go.
That is amazing.
It is amazing. It's truly phenomenal.
This is dumb as hell, by the way.
See, this is where Earthshift gets amazing, right? It's like, well, wait, huh? Wait,
So,
what?
I was.
Well, this is like actually just breaking the game, right?
That's
But,
Earthshift.
That's breaking
I
the
was
game.
expecting that boss to go badly, but it went.
That was
It
awesome.
went badly
that
for
was a
him.
treat to
Let's
see.
say.
I actually am curious on why that does happen.
So Frozen, that's because when he. So he doesn't actually detect when he hits the ground. He detects a certain at set times. He detects where, like, how far down on the map he is, because who the fuck knows why I coded it like that back in the day.
Young,
And
you are
because he's
naive.
no longer in, like, when you remove the earth shift from his foot after that back jump, he's no longer checking, like, where he is. Like,
He's
down.
no longer checking to see if he needs to land.
Yeah, exactly. So he just sits there
So he
forever.
gets stuck in the like landing state forever and just bounces back and forth like we saw.
Yep.
It's weird that he doesn't. It doesn't break him when he does the forward jump with the ground slam. Like, 'cause he can fully do that ground slam and be like back into his normal stuff. And then if you despawn the earth shift, he just falls normally. I don't know why it's only the back one.
Yeah, I had to check the code to see why the back jump is different. And that's actually really easy to fix.
Don't fix it.
No, I'm not going to fix that. That's just too magical to fix.
No.
No, Mugi,
Yeah.
that is the wrong
Yeah, it's
answer.
wrong.
Damn, son.
Sadness.
Backseat
Oh, he can do it.
gaming.
No. This is front seat gaming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have to remember that I have the air dash now.
You're in the driver's seat. He is the nagging child in the back.
This is actually just Brian playing DT1 using Mugi as like a conduit.
He's my controller. It's voice controls.
Yeah, voice controls.
There we go. This is
It's like before the echo or whatever.
yeah, Mugi's a really advanced AI.
I was created by the darkness.
You have no idea how true that actually is?
Okay. The answer was, Earthshift, as usual.
Although this is like an intended use of this shit, though, I think.
Yes.
Or you intended for them to come back when they had blast off.
Yeah.
No. That was based. That was like, oh, make them use Earthshift to go up the thing and then go up there. Yeah, like not using.
There's another Earthshift.
Yep. This is definitely an Earthshift.
Yeah.
I didn't figure this one out for 70 billion years. I always just tanked
I
some
guess
damage.
you could do MI on like the thing that falls down, the worm. Oh.
Yeah.
And here's like, a good little
X fail.
QTE for whatever reason. Well, there is like a lore reason for QTEs, but it's silly. Oh, I should do the extra Kirby stage.
It just only
was,
just now.
you type out X fail.
No, it's basically the press X thing, and then I was like, I'm just gonna have to press.
Oh, so just X and then fail. It's not
And then
like
fail. Yeah, it's not like X fail.
I actually pressed the X button on my controller for a second. I was like, wait, I have to use the keyboard. Because this game has no controller support. I'm using, I just have my controller keys mapped to keyboard keys.
Yep. That is how one plays DT1. Because playing it on keyboard is impossible.
Yeah. Like, apparently it's like Zephyr and Slates, like, never even tried.
No, Zephyr doesn't anymore. Flakes does.
Yeah, but like when they were making the game, they never even thought about using controllers, which is like, weird, because...
It's because Zephyr, like, only ever played PlanetSide before he made DT, so he's like, I guess having a keyboard is fine.
Look, like I started this game. I started DT1 like a few years before PlanetSide. Just for why?
Oh.
Why?
Believe you?
For why? Yeah, totally. Like PlanetSide was the end of 2012. Not the first PlanetSide, but that doesn't count because I didn't play that game very often.
You don't need Zephyr there.
Just
Oh man. Just mental insurrection, then. God damn. There's no reason to ever use normal attacks with
That's
Phase
true.
mode, just mental insurrection.
That's actually something I should have realized when like playing the game originally, but for some reason in Rave mode I always like defaulted to attacking stuff. I guess because like when you first get forced to use it in the little tutorial area, you don't have MI, so it like associated it with just doing normal attacks in my mind or something. I don't know.
It's okay. I'm here to correct you.
We're gonna learn how to really play DC1.
with Brian here, you'll be fine.
Oh.
Maybe a little.
So like kind of
Little
sort of
roughed up.
shades of the Vault Nightmare Gate here, but without the color wheels and all.
Yeah, I like that you literally face tanked that spike.
just stood there.
Yeah, like, oh, there's a spike here. Well,
I
Yep.
was trying to
That's a
I
shame.
was trying to change the fireball and I forgot which key I had it mapped to for a second. Because DT1.
that doesn't mean you have to face tank a spike.
Well, we're gonna do better this time. No face taking.
I think bad times happen.
Yeah, bad times.
This is a map. This is.
I found another use for Earthshift in this map, and I was so happy with myself. Do you remember that, Zephyr?
I do. It's the thing near the end.
Yeah, the spike pillar
Yes.
shaft, the spike shaft.
Yeah.
It's so smart. I'm a smart person.
This is true.
Oh shit.
Spoilers, movie spoilers.
I mean, oh shit, I died.
I didn't die. I just said, oh shit.
Spoilers, goddamn. Trying to save you.
And this is like the equivalent of like the trap pants or plot armor, I guess. You decrease damage taken from traps.
Yeah.
And okay, we're gonna get to Abstracity, I guess advance the events here and then stop the stream for now, I think. We can go in for like, I don't know, maybe 2.5 hours now? Maybe 2?
I think so. Let's see. 1:30. Yeah, almost 2 hours.
So,
Easy to stop it.
lore-wise, this is actually kind of an interesting area because it's like a city from the real world that the darkness like kind of absorbed and turned into like a game sprite thing. Yeah, game sprite thing.
But only half of it.
Yeah, like to like rephrase what I said in like a sensible human way, it recreated a real life city with game assets.
You missed a skill point
Yeah.
back there.
Let's see.
You gotta get that skill crystal. Oh, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it before.
Oh,
Blast off.
this one's pretty easy.
It is pretty easy
It's
though.
not,
Yeah.
it's not hard. So here we have Cyrus, who shows up again in DT3, and like, yeah, he exists.
That
He does exist.
Like, we make fun of the dialogue in DT3, but like the dialogue in DT1 is much worse.
Nah, dialogue in DT1 is better.
Well, like Brian argues that it's better because there's less of it, and I can see that. Like the actual lines.
No. I'm not saying it's better because it's less of it. I'm saying it's better because it's more focused. Like,
Huh?
within the context of DT1 as like happy-go-lucky, you're in a game, now kill the dudes. The dialogue is basically, okay, let me tell you how to kill more dudes. Let me tell you where
Yeah.
you need to go to kill more dudes.
Yeah, that,
It's like, it's all focused around that very thing. And yeah, it's silly, but it like works within the context of DT1. There's no DT1 dialogue that's like, well, let me explain to you
Yes,
how
there
the
is.
virus took over.
Wait,
X.
no. There absolutely is. There's a
There's
there's a giant info dump about that.
There's like
Like-
one cutscene in the entire game.
There's like one real cutscene when you meet the artist in the like the middle-ish of the game.
But I also think even outside of that, like, so like the pre-boss banter I think is a lot better in DT1 because like Jeremy doesn't attempt to explain everything. So like, yeah, you know, they'll find a boss and it'll be something silly or something not silly depending on where you are. And so like Jerry will say like, do I really need to fight that thing? And then Jeremy will be like, yep. And then the fight will start. Like, that's it. And like, it's, or like there might be more to it, but it's like these short quips and then you get into the boss fight and there's no like, actually this was you know, parasitized by the virus from the darkness, which Hex made from the desert creature, and he went into Metroid, and then suddenly they are in the subconscious
Yeah.
and like that happens before every boss in DT3.
yeah, one of the biggest problems with DT3 is like the dialogue, it rambles on. Like,
It rambles,
I-
yeah.
It
DT1
goes,
doesn't
yeah.
like I'm sure Zephyr he had all this stuff in mind and he wanted to convey it to the player, but like in the end it's just not interesting. You don't care about like all the little vagaries of the darkness and what it's doing and whatnot.
A lot could be left unexplained, and it would have been a more.
Yeah.
Like, look at the true final boss, Hexer. Like, Jeremy, like, there's no explanation for Jeremy suddenly turning into, like, a punching dude. But it works because it's DT, and, like, you expect something like that to happen anyway. And I think, like, the little truant scenario in general is a lot better about that sort of thing. Like, Claire doesn't take damage because there's no fall damage. Okay, that's funny. That's a funny explanation you can do in one line, and it makes sense in the game world. And then when you fight Hex, it's like Jeremy's explain, oh, well, I hacked the system to do blah blah blah, so now I can punch you. No, he sheds his robot exterior and is suddenly a manly buff man who can fight Hex. So yeah, like that's one thing I would like recommend is ever like keep it low on the exposition because like when you're playing the game, you don't actually care that much. You care about the immediate events and not so much what's happening behind the scenes.
I mean, like, I wouldn't even go that far. Like, you can explain all of the minor details that you think is important to your story, but it's an art to like figure out how to do that
Right.
and when to do that.
Yeah.
And so like you can do things in a more piecemeal fashion. You can do things like where you don't explain each and every like, well, what if they think about this weird thing? What if they think about this weird thing? I need to make sure Jeremy like plugs all of those plot
Yeah.
holes. If you just give us if you just give us an explanation and it's possible, then we as the audience will accept it.
Right. You don't need to go
Well-
around like trying to fill up every single hole that you might think of, because most people are not gonna like actually care.
Well, I think the thing about what Jeremy is explaining is that it's established very early that he can do anything, right? So it's just not
He can
really.
undo anything, actually.
Yeah, but like Jeremy is explaining things. It's just like it just feels like that's all he does, really, and it just.
Yeah, he's
he
a
did this
fucking
thing.
nerd.
And I don't know, there's no rhyme or even with all of Jeremy's explanations, it doesn't feel like there's any rhyme or reason for what he does. It's just like, oh, I did this. Why? Computer
Yeah,
stuff.
again, I think that's where the final boss fight works well, because it's established at that point that Jeremy and Hex can do whatever bullshit they want, and that fight is just them doing whatever bullshit they want, and it works. So I think we've criticized Zephyr's writing ability enough. I think so. It's time to end this stream.
Sorry, Zephyr.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna end this.
It's never enough.
I think we're gonna end the stream now. Anybody has any final remarks? Go ahead.
You've gotten better at your shift foo.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I'm still playing this game, Achilles, on distorted mode without rave mode or items. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, Brian. I guess we'll have Brian in from now on if he's around, because like he is the DT1 expert and all. So yeah,
Yep.
and that's the stream.